Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. This knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Yohana. It's the Tuesday Brotherhood class, man. We're going to get into these scriptures and talk about brotherhood and having self-control. Because one of the things that we are dealing with in the world that we live in right now is our people do not have self-control. As a people, we are very emotional. As a people, we run off of our emotions, and everything that we do has something to do with my feelings at the end of the day. Right. And that's one of the biggest downfalls of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We run based off of our emotions and based off of our feelings, and we do not think clearly when we do those type of things, man. Let's first go to Proverbs 25 and 28. One of y'all brothers, if y'all can pull that precept and read it once you got it, greatly appreciate it. The book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit.
He that what?
He that hath no rule over his own spirit.
Keep going.
Is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
He that has no rule over his own spirit. What is having no rule over your own spirit? What does that mean to have no rule over your own spirit?
It's like, you know what I'm saying, like being led by your flesh, you know what I'm saying, being easily to doing something that it is against the Lord.
He that has no rule over his own spirit. Somebody that doesn't have rule over their own spirit is somebody that's easily emotionally compromised. Having no rule over your own spirit means somebody can do something easily to you that'll push your buttons and make you become somebody that you're not. Not having rule over your own spirit is not being able to control yourself. He that has no rule over his own spirit is what?
It's like a city that is broken down and without walls.
It's like a city that's broken down without walls. What is a city with no walls? Go ahead.
It's like a city that's not protected.
It's a city that's not protected. It's a place that's not protected.
Right.
It's like saying that all the criminals are in jail, but there is no bars, there is no walls, there is no fence with barbed wire or anything like that. Is there anything that's secure? If you are somebody that does not have any rule over your own spirit, you are what? What does that mean? You are what? What you got? You got something out? If you are somebody that doesn't have rule over your own spirit, you are what? You are a ticking time bomb. You don't have any rule over your own spirit. You don't have no self-control. You're somebody that, based off of anything, it's a ticking time bomb. It's like a bottle of Coca-Cola with Mentos in it. It's ready to explode at any point in time. You going to save your people if you don't know how to save yourself? How are you going to be a mentor to the kids that don't have anybody to look up to if you don't know how to control your emotions? How are you supposed to lead people when you can't even control yourself in a time of your anger? You can't do it. See, here in the Isupk, we train brothers on how to control themselves.
Right.
So that way you can become a man that knows how to not only control yourself, but teach others to do the same.
That's right.
If you're not somebody that knows how to control your anger, how can you protect your people? You can't be a brother on Shamar and you don't know how to control your anger. Trust me. That's something that the captains and generals speak about all the time. How am I supposed to put my life in your hands when at a spare of a moment you ready to crash out for no reason? First time somebody call you the B word, you ready to lose it all. And I'm supposed to put my life in your hands? What you had, brother? You had something you want to say?
Oh, so like I just wanted to touch on, you know what I'm saying, like a city with no walls.
Go ahead.
That means anybody could come in and do whatever they want to your city.
Exactly. Anybody got free reigns to do whatever to you because you don't have no defenses. You don't have no form of protection. Go ahead.
So like I said, that the only defense is offense.
Oops. And if that's your only defense, you are going to fail.
Right.
As a people, we got to learn how not to be so emotional. Sometimes you got to be able to just sit back and understand what's going on. And even if you don't understand it, go through it. Go through the motions and look for the things that you are supposed to learn from it. The Bible talks about being at a lower state all the time. In the time of being at a lower state, what does it tell you to do? It says take it with all what? Cheer. When you at a lower state, that's when you need to be looking around and not sitting here in your feelings about it. Not sitting here being emotional about it, but sit here and deal with the matter. Right. Sit here and figure out, okay, why am I going through this? What is the key thing that I need to learn from this? Because if you don't never go through anything, then you'll never learn from it. You got to go through the hard times to learn lessons. You got to go through the hard times to show that what? Your strength comes from who? What you got? Okay, your strength comes from the Most High. Go ahead.
So like if I could give like an example, you feel me?
Go ahead.
You know how we at camp on Shamar, you know what I'm saying? That's essentially a wall. You feel me? You know how people heckle, people talk mess, people might throw things. Yep. You know what I'm saying? We have to stay disciplined and control our emotions and not react and potentially cause a breach that could let somebody into the camp and potentially harm one of our brethren.
Exactly. If you are a brother that is at camp and because somebody is throwing stuff at the camp or somebody is calling you names or somebody is threatening you from afar, that you walk off your post to go deal with that person, what did you just do? You got everybody unalive because you opened up a breach. You opened up a breach point. Well, somebody could come in and actually hurt your brothers, unalive your brothers. And now none of us made it home because you just did something out of your emotions. Because you didn't know how to control yourself. What about a family? Let's talk about family. Let's talk about a husband and a wife. What did the scripture say? It says what?
He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Like I said, let's talk about families. Brother, this goes for brothers and sisters. If you are in a marriage, but you don't have any rule over your own spirit, what could happen? As a brother, your wife says something crazy to you, got you in your feelings. She says, well, you ain't gonna do nothing, you weak and all this other. And you decide because you're so emotional, you're gonna haul off and hit her. Then what happens? Go ahead.
If I could, you allowed many demons into your household in that moment. You know what I'm saying? For one, your kids not have to suffer. Now you have to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Now you done potentially broke up the family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now your kids gonna have to be in the household without you. And now what's the outcome of them?
Exactly. If you a brother with no control over your own spirit, then you'll find yourself in a lot of trouble, especially when it comes down to dealing with your family. If you a sister that does not have control over your own spirit in a marriage or in a relationship, period, point blank, you are going to find yourself in a world of trouble. You wonder why all these men keep leaving you and kicking you to the curb and you can't find a so-called good man. It's because you don't know how to control your mouth. It's because you don't know what it is to actually be quiet. Everything that comes to your mind doesn't need to be said. We're going to get into those scriptures as well. Just because you think it don't mean that you have to do it. Just because you think it don't mean that it has to be said. The Bible speaks about that. Matter of fact, hey, brother, you know what? Let's go. Go to Proverbs 17 and 28.
Got it.
And let me get another brother. Go to Proverbs 29 and 11.
It's like let me get that King James.
Yeah. One brother go to Proverbs 17, 28, and the other brother go to Proverbs 29 and 11 for me.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
Oh, what?
Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
Understand this. Everything that comes to your mind, you don't have to speak on. Just because you're upset in a moment because of what's happening in your household or what's happening at your job or what's happening in your neighborhood or what's happening period point blank in your own life, don't mean that you always got to move off of that. Don't mean that you always got to just make decisions off of your emotions. See, when a lot of things is going on in your life, you got to learn how to halt. You got to learn how to sit back and be like, oh, hold on. Before I make a decision that might be rash, let me calm down real quick. Let me get some counsel. Let me see what all this really is before I just say something that I might regret later on. Let me calm down before I make a move that I can't come back from. Go ahead and keep reading that.
When he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
When he does what?
When he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
Understand this, man. See, you could be a fool, but if you know how to close your mouth, it said that you can be what? Counted as what?
Esteemed a man of
It says, he that holdeth his peace is counted what?
Is counted wise.
Is counted wise. See, even a fool, in a time that they want to speak, if they be quiet, they can be counted what? Wise. Why can a fool that knows how to just halt and be quiet be counted wise? I just said it. I said it multiple times. The scripture says, even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. What you got,
Because he holding his peace. Like
he knows when to what?
When to speak.
And when not to.
Yeah, speak.
Exactly. See, you have, what you got?
Nah, I just started thinking, first, Shalom, Lord of Christ.
Shalom, of course, what's going on?
I just started thinking, because it's like, I don't know, this kind of hitting heavy, because it's basically the only thing I struggle with. You know, wearing my emotions on my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I think, you know, when we speak about cardinal, when we speak about spirituality, When we speak about the flesh and the soul, we really got to take that to a way deeper vortex because, a lot of times we don't think about, our emotion part of it. We think about more of the physical, like, I'm not going to go do this. I'm not going to commit adultery. I'm not going to do this. But then when you think about the mental health stage of it and the actual emotional side of your cardinal and your spiritual and your flesh, it comes a time where, your spiritual tell your flesh that, man, you tripping. You know what I mean? Like it's not that big, but at the time your flesh is so heavy in what's going on, to where, you don't think about the spiritual mind. Well, at least me now as a young man, it's not my first thought process to, oh, let me think spiritual, because I'm still trying to figure it out. But I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, for you to speak about it, it's for somebody to think about it. And when people think about things, the way I'm analyzing it now, I never even looked at it like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I never even looked at it because a lot of times people say things aren't that big, but in my cardinal mind, I was kind of like, well, shit, if I make it big to me, it's big. But then in my spiritual mind, it's like, well, shit, he got the biggest task of them all. He holding all us together. So anything I'm going through is minute compared to what Christ went through and what the Lord, what he has on his plate.
All right. You had something?
Yeah, sir, you know what I'm saying? The scripture hit heavy because how many times have our mouths got us in trouble?
Exactly.
Because of things we said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even a child knows when to hold his peace. You know what I'm saying? Like this scripture is so instrumental because it's watch what you say. It's always a time and a place for foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, what y'all said is heavy, and what the brother, young man Kyle said as well. Like, a lot of times we don't think about that because in the moment, it has you out of your body. You got to understand that the scriptures even said, like, we don't wrestle with the what? Do you understand? Like, the weapons of our warfare is the what? Not carnal, right? You got to understand, you got to think more spiritual than physical. A lot of times when we deal with stuff, we're thinking in the moment, physically. We're thinking right here, right now. We're not thinking about, this is the demon trying to sit here and get me to react. But that's something that we got to start doing. We have to learn how to sit here and think beyond just what's happening right now, right here, right in front of our faces. Because when you start moving based off of your flesh, when you start moving based off of your feelings, you're liable to mess up. 9 times out of 10, you're going to mess up. It looks like a sister on here says he knows how to handle things accordingly. When she was answering the question about a fool, you know how to handle things accordingly, like the sister said on there. If you learn how not to just speak so quickly in a time of you being upset. Go to Proverbs 29 and 11. Go ahead, read once you have it.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 11. A fool uttereth all his mind.
Oh, what?
A fool uttereth all his mind.
Keep going.
But a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards.
Understand this. A lot of times this is what shows you somebody that's mature and somebody that's childish. Because when I was a child, what does the Bible say? When I was a child, I did what? I thought as a child. I spake as a child. I acted as a child. But when I became older, I did what? I put away childish things. As a child, when you have little children and they want their fruit snacks, or they want some chips, and they want this and they want that, are they gonna hold their tongue? If you tell them no, what's gonna happen? They're gonna cry, they're gonna pout, they're gonna stomp and run and all that because they don't have control over their emotions. And you wanna know what's crazy? We got grown adults right now that think like children. You wanna know how I know it? Because how many times has somebody crashed out behind being in a club when you know the club is packed and somebody accidentally spilled some liquor on your shoes and now you ready to fight? How many times have we been out and about and someone said something to you and now all of a sudden your pride done got in the way? Man, who the hell you talking to? Man, you ain't talking to me, dog. I'll slap the dog shit. How many times have those things happened? How many times have people been unalive due to an argument over a female, or due to an argument over territory, or an argument over anything? Bro, there's so many situations that could be controlled if you wasn't acting like a fool and othering your whole mind. Bro, why do we have to sit here and fuss and fight over something that is so small and minute? Bro, you know you could have dealt with the situation better. If somebody sat here and spilled liquor on you on accident, it was an accident, right? What could you have done instead of saying, hey, my nigga, watch out? Like, what the hell wrong with you, man? You done spilled that. You done spilled Hennessy on my shoes, bro. What the hell wrong with you? What could you have done? You good, Kenfo? Hey, cause pretend that someone spills something on you real quick. Hey, my fault, bro. My fault. I ain't even mean to, dog. Yeah, you can go ahead and wipe down real quick. You don't have to sit here and make a big deal out of the situation. Bro, do you know how many times we done been at camp and somebody done came up to us and threatened us at camp? Done tried to spit on us? Done tried to throw like something to drink on us? Bro, if we just act off our emotions, we'll all end up in jail or dead, unalive, Salakia. But the Bible is telling you, bro, hey, don't move off of all your emotions, bro. Just because you in a situation, just because you arguing with your wife, or just because you arguing with your husband and you feel like they said something that hurt your feelings, does not mean that you got to go low. Just because you feel like he did a low blow don't mean that you got to go to hell. Because you know that's what happens during arguments, right? That's why most arguments continue. Because somebody feel like they was offended. So when you was offended, instead of being like, hey, man, you offended me, what do? You try to offend the person that offended you. So now both of y'all are just speaking out of anger, and y'all both saying things to hurt one another. And what comes out of it? Now all of a sudden, once y'all calm down, did you really feel like I was this? Did you really feel like I was a horrible person that I'd never do anything? Did you feel like the only thing I was good for is laying on my back? Dang, girl. You think the only thing I'm good to do is just sit here and just, I'm a good for nothing husband? I'm a good for nothing father? I can't do this, I can't do that. Because now y'all speaking out of anger. So even though you don't feel that way, you said it because that's what you thought in the moment. You allowed your demon to control your mouth and control your tongue. And now you done caused a division in your household that you can't easily just fix. That's why the Bible says a fool uttereth what? His whole what? Thoughts. Because at the end of the day, you might not really even feel that way, but you knew for a fact if I say this, this could hurt them. So let me say this so that way I can hurt them. Doing the same thing a child did, throwing a temper tantrum. You had something you want to say?
Yeah. Is there a such thing as spiritual emotions?
Spiritual emotions. Elaborate on that.
I'm asking, cause we say don't act on our emotions, and then I'm thinking about us being the school of practical knowledge. For people listening, is there a thin line between that, like to act on positive emotions or to, you see what I'm saying? Like,
so if you're talking about positive, if you're talking,
okay, are positive emotions considered spiritual? Like, or do they have a such thing as a spiritual emotion?
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say if there is a spiritual emotion or not, but what I would say is a difference between allowing your demon to speak on your behalf and you talking to somebody in a way or in a manner to be productive. The conversations we should have with one another should always be productive. When you start talking out of your emotions, you are allowing a demon to speak on your behalf. And those type of things can cause division and turmoil in your relationship as brothers and sisters or your relationships as a husband and wife. And it also can affect your children at the end of the day as well. That's what I would say to that. What you got?
Salaki, sir, if I may, I got a precept for you.
What you got?
Proverbs 18:21.
Go ahead.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
You said what?
Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
See, this is something that we got to understand as well. Death and life. Why do you think it says death and life is in the power of the tongue? Or you can speak what? Think about young children. We're going to go to the children for a moment because, we're supposed to train up a child in the way that they should go, right?
Right.
So if you see your kid and every single day you call your kid bad to your child's face, what is your kid going to end up becoming? If you sit here and you see your wife every single day and you call your wife a female dog every day, tell her she ain't no good. She's just a female dog. You always acting like a female dog. You always acting like an itch. You always acting like something like you'll never be who I want you to be. You'll never amount to anything. How is she going to start thinking? I'm a female dog anyway, so why change? That's the only way you see me. You only see me as this. Yeah, that's what you're gonna call me when you mad. That's what you're gonna call me on any days that I don't do what you ask me. So why should I even change? If you sit here and call a brother a female dog, or you call a brother weak, or you call a brother sit here and tell him, man, hey, you stupid as hell, man. You ain't gonna never be nothing. And the only thing just go to the plant. Matter of fact, go to the corner. What do you think he gonna start thinking about himself? He gonna think that he's nothing. Like, you a young man, right? What if every day you showed up here, we told you, shut the F up, go mop, go clean, and don't talk. Don't say nothing at all. I don't want to hear nothing from you. I don't even care what you got going on. Go clean something and shut up somewhere. What you gonna think? Go ahead.
Well, it's one or two things. Depending on the person, it could break me down. Or depending on the person, it could make me go turn up in another place. To make me feel validated.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people back, when we were growing up, they'll be like, you ain't gonna live to 21 and you gonna go to jail. You gonna have 5 kids by the time you 20. Yeah. Like, that was prominent back then in our age. Like just even from the elders, even from the pastors, and it's you always getting in trouble. You a knucklehead. Yeah. So it's like, shit, okay. Well,
I might as well live up to it because that's the only thing you see anyway. Bro, when I was growing up, dog, we was told it's a blessing to see 15. Like, if you made it to 15, hey, bro, hey, go ahead, count that. If you made it to see 21, they like, all right, you doing something. Now, if you was 21 and you ain't got no record, and you ain't got about 8 kids or 6 kids. Oh shoot, man. Hey, you doing the damn thing. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to understand the things that people were saying back in the day while we were children, and that's how we grew up living, bro. That was death. That was death. And some of us found life in what they were saying. Oh, if you made it to 15, hey, you was winning. If you made it to 21, hey, bro, you doing the thing. And you ain't got no record. But you know what happened? You know what happened to those that got in trouble along the way? They felt like I didn't make it. I had plenty of partners that made it right out of high school and then got locked up. I got plenty of partners that in high school got locked up. And they could never bounce back from it. You want to know why? Because now everything that they said about me was true. So why even try to change now? Why even try to become somebody new? Because the only thing y'all gonna see about me is who I was. The thing that happened to me. So you know what? Now I'm just gonna live in it. So the precept that you brought out, bro, is right on. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. Keep reading.
And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
Understand this, man. What kind of fruit are you going to eat from it? If you understand that death and life is in the fruit of the tongue, or in the, Salakia, it said death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit of. Therefore, right? Which kind of fruit are you trying to get from it? Which kind of fruit are you going to eat? Go ahead, huh?
I ain't gonna lie, I want some of them pink pineapples. Exotic. It's the good fruit.
You say you want the good fruit.
Right.
So what does that mean as you as a person that understand death and life is in the power of the tongue? You can't sit here and be like a fool and utter your whole mind. Because understand this, bro. A lot of people that used to say all that stuff, they were doing that because somebody said it to them. And the person before that said it to them. And it was a reoccurring cycle that they passed down. For you to bear good fruit, that means you got to become what? You got to become something good. Because a good tree bear forth what? Good fruit. But a wicked tree does what? Wicked fruit. What you got?
That's just what I was about to say. Like, a lot of those people, they were the ones.
Yeah.
You know, like, even the chick, like, I had an ex, and it was funny because her dad tried to run me off, long story short. He, get my daughter pregnant, whoa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am 41, still no kid. And she 38 with like 4 or 5? And it's just crazy because, like, I look back at things like that, and it be like, dang, like, a lot of people were praying on our downfall, and we oppressed ourselves. Like, our families oppressed us with the oppressor. It was just a whole bunch of oppression going on. So for anybody to make it up out of that and find the truth, like, yeah, that's definitely a calling. But I just think about when we say oppressor and we talk about the bad fruit and the wickedness being spoken into us. That was like a prominent thing every corner you went as a young child.
Right. What you got up?
So, like, if I may, so I have that precept if you would like, Matthew 17:18.
Go ahead.
Some kind. This is the book of Matthew 7, chapter 7, verse 18 through 23. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit.
Keep going.
Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
So what is the Bible saying right there? I know it's clear cut, but just for people that might not understand the Bible, what is that scripture saying, therefore? Right there it said what? A good tree cannot bear forth evil fruit. And then it said also that a what? What you had?
Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
So a good tree cannot bring forth corrupt fruit, and a corrupt tree cannot bring forth good fruit. Think about it. Think about it deeper. Think about what you just said. A good tree cannot bear forth bad fruit. If a good tree cannot bring forth bad fruit, what does that mean? Somebody that is what? Huh? Somebody that is pure, somebody that thinks good, somebody that speaks highly, somebody that motivates others cannot bring forth what? Bad fruit, right? Right, right. And somebody that is corrupt cannot do what? Right. Hey, Shalom, brother. What's going on, man? How y'all doing? Hey, all brothers, we got all brothers sitting on this side, if y'all don't mind, man. So, if you are a brother and you are doing the work of the Most High God, bro, as a good tree, you're going to bring forth what kind of fruit? But if you decide to be corrupt, if you decide to be wicked and teach people to do wicked and teach people to do wrong, then what kind of fruit will you bear from that? Right. So as men of the Most High God, what are we supposed to do? Bring forth what? Because we are trying to get our people out of what? We're trying to get our people out of hell. Why do you think that we're talking about having self-control? Why do you think we talking about watching what you say and watching what you do? Because at the end of the day, people are looking up to you. You got a bunch of people that are sitting here, bro. When I was younger, dog, there was a bunch of men that I looked up to. Some good, some bad. Some people that sat here and told me the right way to go. Some people that led me astray. So I had to sit here and figure out which one was which. But as men that's in this school now, you're choosing to be what? Light and darkness. So you got to learn how to bring forth good fruit. You got to learn how to talk to the people to not only help them, but give them the knowledge that they need so that way they can succeed. Not sit here and keep doing the wrong things that we've been taught to do all our lives. What you got on?
So, like, if I may, I'm just reading a comment off of the stream. Trooper Pathwa Allah gave another precept, James 3 and 5.
Go ahead, read.
Come. It's the book of James, chapter 3, verse 5. The tongue, though a small part of the body, can boast of great things, just as a tiny spark can set off a huge forest ablaze.
Right. That's a good precept right there, brother. Understand that your tongue, understand what you say and what you do and what people watch you do. It can sit here and either motivate them or it can do what? What's the opposite? It can bring them down. What's up?
Can I reread that in King James? I had read the wrong.
Go ahead.
All right, come. This is the book of James, chapter 3, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
Come. Verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell.
Understand this, bro. You can look at a tongue in two different ways. It's a small member, and it can set a fire ablaze. It can be of good or bad. Right. It can bring light or it can bring darkness and iniquity. It can bring a lot of things because at the end of the day, you're talking about what could be said. You can be smart or you can be an idiot. Right. You can be something great in this world, or you can be another statistic. As men, we have to learn how to control the narrative. As men, we got to learn how to have self-control and control the life that we are living.
Right.
We have control over that. That's why we talked about the precept. There's death and life in the what? In the power of the tongue. You can speak life or you can speak death into everything that you do. So be mindful of those things. Let's go back to the book of Proverbs. Go to 16 and 32 for me.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit, that he that taketh a city.
Understand this. If you are somebody that knows how to control your anger, if you somebody that knows how to control your spirit, if you somebody that doesn't just move off of your emotions, but you calculate every movement that you make, you are better than somebody that feels like they're mighty. You are better than somebody that can take over a whole city based off of their feelings and emotions. Right. Do you know how many people that off of their emotions start wars? We dealing with one person in the office right now, in the president's seat right now. Everything that he does is based off of his emotions. Why do you think that he sent ICE down here? Why do you think that he's trying to start all these world wars? Because everything he does is based off of his emotions. But see, a wise man knows how to sit back and see what the playing field is. A wise man knows how to play chess, not checkers. A wise man understands that, you know what? Just because I'm angry, just because I'm upset does not mean I have to move. But the better thing for me to do is be able to sit back and analyze what's going on. All right, I know for a fact they did something. You know what? I really want to go handle that situation, but you know what? I ain't going to do that. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to analyze everything. And once I see everything for what it really is, then I'm going to make a move. Because if you run off of your emotions, say for instance, we all been in the hood. We all live in the hood. We all move certain type of ways. Somebody sat here and stole money from you. What's your initial move? If you're not thinking about it, what's your initial move? Somebody stole something from you, so what you want to go do? I want to go get that. I'm going to go get that however I can, right? But once you go get that, and you know for a fact you got partners with you that's ready to ride for you, that's ready to do whatever for you, the same way that person that went and stole something from you got partners that's ready to ride for him and do whatever, what does that mean? What ends up happening? Why is it a war? Because the same way my partner's ready to ride for me, his partners were ready to ride for him. So because I'm pissed off about him stealing something from me, so now what I'm doing? I'm causing war. Causing a war that can what? Get innocent people hurt. What you got?
And if I could, it's because this is something that happens every day. We literally live what you are talking about. Not only can it start wars and get people hurt, but it can last a long time. You know what I'm saying? Just look what's happening in Chicago.
Yeah.
People are still mad about things that happened back in the 80s, back in the 70s. It's a perpetual state of violence because of words.
Exactly.
And the lack of brotherhood, if I could.
That's exactly what it is. It's a lack of brotherhood. To try to get over on one another. We wasn't taught that, you know what, the same way I am is the same way you are. We the same people. We was taught that, hey, look, whoever really the big dog is, he'll do whatever it takes to be on top. That's that Herman crab mentality. That's that crab in a bucket mentality. Use one another to get over. Instead of doing what Zephaniah 2:1 says. Right. In the book of Zephaniah 2:1, in the Bible, it's letting you know, gather yourselves together, O nation that's not desired. What you got that precept?
Come, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
See, this is the thing, man. We've been taught for so long to hate one another.
Right.
We've been taught for so long to get at it with one another that we don't know what it is to gather ourselves together. See, if we would stick together, if we wouldn't be so emotional and learn how to work together as a people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, bro, we would be better off. Because who know how, and we say this all the time when we start talking about gathering yourselves together, O nation that's not desired, who knows how to cook soul food better than a black person? Who know how to barbecue better than a black person?
Right.
Another black person. Who know how to make some fire tacos, burrito tacos, and who know how to cook better than Mexicans when it comes down to that Mexican food? I don't know nobody making better tamales than a Hispanic or El Salvadorian.
Right.
I don't know nobody that know how to cook better oxtails than a Haitian or a Jamaican.
Right.
You talking about that curry, chicken, curry, goat, the oxtails and all that. Man, we are one. Right. And if we would learn how to stick together and stop trying to sit here and be apart, because we was always taught to hate on one another.
Right.
I used to say this all the time. How many of y'all had blacks versus Mexicans fights in y'all school? Bro, do you know me? This is your first time seeing me like this is my first time seeing you. But the same way you used to have blacks versus Mexican fights in your school, I had it in my school. Bro, it's like it's never been there. Like it seemed like we was born and raised to have fights against them. And it wasn't because what? It wasn't because they had more money than us. It wasn't because we had more money than them. It was because really and truthfully we were the same people, but they don't want us to be together. They spoke in Spanish, we spoke in English, and we felt like we were talking about so much that we like, hey, bro, you think you better than me or something? Oh, you mad because I'm hollering at your chicks and you hollering at our chicks. So now what? We plexed up over colors, plexed up over females, plexed over territory. Because everything that we were doing was based off of our emotions. And the Bible's against that. The Bible is telling you, dog, stop speaking off of your emotions. Stop moving off of your emotions. Man, if you would be slow to anger, if you stay out your feelings, if you would be slow to getting in your feelings and reacting off of that, you would be better than somebody that feels like they mighty. But that's one of the things that we struggle with. We struggle with that because everything to us is about what? Our pride. Everything to us is about what? Not looking weak, not looking like a chump, not looking like a little punk. That's everything dealing with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We don't know what it is to be slow to anger because our pride gets in the way. And what does the scripture say about pride? A pride cometh before a fall. These are the things that we have to be aware of. We can't let our pride stand in the way of us doing what's right. We can't let our anger be the reason why we sitting here moving off of our emotions. We got to know what it is to actually sit back and think things through before you just do it. Because I promise you, if you really start thinking things through, just think. See, here in the school, we got officers of 5,000s, we got captains, we got generals. These are high-ranking men in the school. As an officer of 5,000 or a captain of 10,000 or a captain of 13,000 or a general, you know for a fact if you give an order, you got men that's ready to ride for you. You got men that's ready to put their life on the line for you at a spare of a moment. So what do you think we do when certain situations come about. We sit back and we think about it. We be like, hold on, man, hold up. Because I know for a fact if I jump off on the deep end, I got all these brothers that's ready to do this exact same thing because they saw me do it. But see, a lot of times the 50s, the 500s, and the thousands, y'all don't think that y'all had that same power. Y'all got men that's ready to jump off the deep end for you as a trooper because you my brother. You cannot move off of your emotions. You can't move off of your pride because you're going to cause more problems for everybody else that loves you and cares for you. And that's what we have a problem with as a people right now. As a people, that's our biggest problems. We ready to jump off the bridge. We ready to crash out over the smallest things, but we don't realize what we gonna start once we do it. Because everything is based off of your pride. That's why we get into these precepts, man. That's why we talking about the scripture where it says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. You got to be able to control yourself. Control your anger, man. Go to the book of Proverbs. Go to 21 and 23 for me. Proverbs 21, 23.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
When y'all hear that, what does that say to y'all? Keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. What does that sound? What does that sound like to you? Anybody? What you got?
So, like, if I may, watching what you say can keep you out of trouble.
Exactly. Watching what you say and watching what you do can keep yourself out of a world of trouble. Do you know how many people get pulled over by laws? We know the laws is crooked in this world. Right. We know that for a fact. If your skin color is black, if your skin color is darker, you know for a fact the laws do not like you. The laws in this world is not for you. But you got to understand how to play the game, how it goes. We just so quick to jump stupid with them that we know for a fact they are looking to unalive us. They're looking to kill us every single day. They're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason to lock us up. You got to learn how to play the game, how it goes, so that way you don't deal with that. What you got?
I got a precept for you, sir.
What is it say?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 25.
I know it. Go ahead.
Agree with thine adversary quickly.
Do what?
Agree with thine adversary quickly.
Keep going.
While thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
Learn when it's time to speak and when it's not time to speak. If you are so quick to want to argue, fuss, and fight when it's time for you to be quiet, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. I'm not telling you to be weak. I'm not telling you to just let people run over you. I'm not telling you to not speak up for yourself. What I'm telling you to do is be wise. I'm telling you to pick and choose your battles wisely. That's what the scriptures is telling you to do. It's telling you to watch what you say. It's telling you to watch what you do because there's a time and a place for everything. Right. If you getting pulled over and they profiling you, is that the time for you to get out your car and say, hey, man, what the hell you got going on, bro? Why you tripping? And all that? Is that the time for that? You want to know why? Because they're looking for a reason to beat you. They're looking for a reason to get off on hurting you. Do you know how many people done got unalive based off of that? We got people that got unalive based off of doing less than that. So what do you think they're gonna do to you because you hopping out the car on them? Now what is their favorite thing to say when somebody pop out of a car? They felt what? They felt threatened. You ain't got nothing in your hands up, but because you popped out of your car too quickly, they done put two in your chest and talk about they feel threatened. You gotta learn what it is to deal with situations correctly and see it past whatever's right there in front of you. What you got, Art?
That goes back to the power of the tongue. Cause the average person, like, I know I done been pulled over many a times, and the average person, when they get pulled over, first thing they say, dang, the law's behind me. But why they saying dang the law?
Tarzan. Brother trying to get up.
But why they saying dang the law's behind me, they trying to look in the rear view. But while they trying to look in the rear view, they basically thinking about if they doing something wrong, which causes them to do something wrong as far as a traffic violation.
Yeah.
So, whether it's stopping at the stop sign or fully stopping at the red light, making a right turn, and then that's when all the chaos starts.
Yep.
But it started off the power of your own tongue saying, dang, the law's behind me.
Brother, let me tell you something. You can beat so many situations if you just following what the scriptures say. That's why we have these scriptures, man.
Right.
These scriptures is written for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
If you will follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, you wouldn't have to worry about a lot of things. The Bible tells you, don't worry about sitting here and abusing and using drugs. It keeps you from having to deal with the laws. It keeps you from having to deal with what? Cancer. Because we all know what we used to call them cancer sticks. Smoking cigarettes do what? Lead to cancer. Eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster do what? Lead to cancer. Lead to ulcers. Lead to high blood pressure, hypertension, heart conditions, clogged arteries. If you wouldn't do these things, if you would follow the law, statutes, and commandments, if you would learn how not to sit here and say everything that comes to your mind, bro, you would see that your life is way more peaceful. You want to know why? Because you ain't got to worry about always fussing and fighting with somebody over words. You will understand that certain arguments ain't even worth having. So you know what? Hey, bro, look, man, if you want to do that, hey, bro, that's good. Hey, you do what you got to do. I'm going to sit over here, bro. I'm going to chill. Because 9 times out of 10, can somebody argue by themselves? If you trying to argue with me, if you trying to yell and cuss and scream because you trying to fight me, but I'm sitting here not paying no mind to it, I'm like, hey, bro, I understand you upset, man. But why are you so upset? Nah, because you should have did. Hey, bro, look, I ain't even on that, bro. You felt like I did something to you, man. My fault. My bad. You got it, dog. You know what, bro? You got it. That was my fault. My bad. What is that going to do to a situation? It's going to diffuse a situation. That's what we got to learn how to start doing as a people. We got to learn how to start diffusing situations instead of igniting it. That's why, bro, that's why the Bible tells you all the things that it's saying. Telling you to hold your tongue. Telling you not to sit here and go back and forth and arguing and don't utter everything that come to your mind. What you got on?
I got a preset for what you just said, you know what I'm saying, the little parable you just gave.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 15:1.
Mm-hmm.
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
A soft what?
A soft answer turneth away wrath.
Y'all know that this deals with so many different things at one time, right? You talking about a soft answer turn away wrath, that's dealing with arguments between two brothers, arguments between two sisters, arguments between a husband and a wife, arguments between what? A father and a son, a daughter and her mother. This deals with us, period, point blank. If you learn how to diffuse a situation, not being so emotional, being like, hey, bro, you know what? My fault. I ain't even mean that, dog. I offended you, my fault. That's my bad. I'll take that one. You can stop a lot of situations from happening. You wouldn't have to worry about leaving out of Carol's and somebody getting gunned down in the parking lot of Carol's because they were talking mess to somebody else about a female. Because you know how many times has that happened? You in a parking lot, a female choose you, but you ain't know that she had a whole nigga. Now all of a sudden he running up on you like, hey, that's my female. And what your pride say do? Hey, man, your chick chose me. Man, why are you sitting here being emotional, dog? Look, man, hey, she really a hoe. And a hoe gonna choose regardless. Yeah, she gonna choose regardless, bro. So what you tripping for? When you know what you could have did, hey, bro, you know what? Hey, my fault, man. I ain't know that was your shawty. She came up, she was talking to her brother. Hey, man, look, you got it, bro. Man, y'all have a nice night, bro. Y'all go there and have a nice night, man. Diffuse a situation instead of igniting it. That's what we got to learn how to do as a people. We would have to go to less funerals if we knew how to do those type of things. We'll have to go to less jails to visit people that we love and care for, and less morgues if we would learn how to diffuse a situation instead of letting our pride start speaking for us. This is our strength as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Learning how to talk to one another. Learning how to be careful to not offend one another. When we learn how to do these things, then we learn to be better. Then we learn how to grow with one another. Only when we do can we start getting ourselves out of here. Let me Hey, go to 1 Peter 5 and 8. Because we talk about our oppressors all the time, man. Our oppressors, they're looking to deceive us. They're looking for us to act like them. They're looking for us to go against our God and start following in their ways and doing the things that they want us to do, so that way we lose our blessing. Go ahead and read.
Come. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Understand this, your oppressor. See, you know who your oppressor is. We call them Edomites, Moabites. See, Edomites are the progenitor of the Caucasians.
Right.
The Moabites are what we call the Chinese man. The Hamites are what we call the African man. And then you have those, what we call them poop poops, them Arabs, which is Ishmael. Bro, you gotta understand, your adversary, your oppressor, they are like lions. They are walking around trying to see who they can devour. They're looking for you to go against your God. They're looking for you to start doing the exact same thing that they do. They look for every way to sit here and be up on one another. What you got?
So, like, if I may, because each and every last one of those nations you just named, they all have businesses set up in our hood right now, all down this very strip.
Yeah.
Devouring us.
Yeah. Taking money out of our pockets. Right. Sitting here pinning us against one another. Sitting here feeding us all the alcohol that we can drink. They got all the weed and all the other things that's going to destroy our people. They got the gambling machine up in there taking all the grandma's money and all unc's and pop's money. All these things that they have are to devour us. So why do you think the Bible is saying be sober? Like, don't be drunk. Don't be a drunkard. Don't be somebody that does not, like, you're drinking so much that you can't be vigilant. You can't watch and see what's going on. You got to always be on note. Always look for it. Because your oppressor is trying to find a way to kill you, to unalive you, to take something from you, to drain you dry to the point where you have nothing else. And you have to beware of those things. You have to watch out for those things, man. You got to be aware of those type of people, man. It's time for us to gather ourselves together. It's time for us to come back together and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments so that way we can be on top.
Right.
We can separate ourselves from them. We learn how to talk to one another. We learn how to be around one another. We learn how to sit here and be one. This is what time it is right now, man. We got to get out of the mindset that I'm greater than you and you a fellow black man. You nothing just because you ain't got on the same clothes as I got on. Just because you wearing Forces and I'm wearing J's, I'm better than you. Or because you got on Payless shoes and I got on J's or I got on Balenciagas, I'm better than you. Like, we got to get out of that mindset because that's some childish. That ain't doing nothing but holding us down in a world where we're already at the bottom. It's time for us to grow up. It's time for us to have self-control. Stop talking out of the side of your neck. Stop always saying anything that come to your mind to try to offend somebody because they hurt your feelings. Right. Stop always moving based off of your emotions. And with that, we're going to say a majam, which means to stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters. Men of Israel, Majam Shabbat, Majam, Barak, Yahal Ba Shem Yahweh Brakatah, Yat Yamatah, Sor, face the sister. Men of Israel, Majam Shabbat, Majam, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Atah Ba Shem Yahweh Yat Yamatah. Class dismissed.